Hello students, welcome to this session on electromagnetics or EMFT. So today we are going to start this subject, and let me tell you, this is a really crucial subject for all of your competitive exams, either it is GATE, NET or ESE. If you are preparing for it, then you must know all of the concept of electromagnetics very deeply. Okay, so most of us are afraid of this subject. Why? Is this subject difficult? No, it is a really interesting subject. Then why we all are afraid of it? Because we don't start this subject from the basics. Here in this playlist, we'll try to introduce all of the concepts from the very basics, and in this session I am going to discuss about the syllabus that I will be following throughout this playlist, and after that I will be discussing about the basics of electromagnetics. The basics from where I am starting. I am starting from the charge. So what is a charge, and we'll be discussing about all of the things related to the charge in this session itself. So first of all, the syllabus. In the syllabus, I want to discuss the fundamentals. In fundamentals, we'll be discussing about the basics of electrostatics, magnetostatics, and after that we'll be discussing about the basic mathematical tools that we require. Okay, after that we'll be discussing about Maxwell's equations, transmission lines, EM waves, waveguides. After that we'll be discussing about radar and optical fiber waveguides as well. And I have already discussed about antenna and antenna array. You can see the previous playlist on antenna. So I hope in this playlist you will be understanding a lot of new concepts, and you will be getting a lot of new information, and you will be starting loving this subject. So first of all, why electromagnetics? From where it started? We all studied about the networks. In the networks, we all studied about the RLC network. When we supply voltage to the RLC network, then what happens? We can do the mathematical modeling, and with the mathematical modeling we can get the desired current and voltage. And after that, what we can do, we can have a power amplifier to amplify the signal, and after that we can have ADC, DAC, or basically the computer or the microprocessor block where I am programming according to my instructions. So after programming, we'll be having again voltage and current, which is going to again power amplifier, and from here we'll get an amplified current and voltage, and the electromagnetic concepts will start playing its role. We'll be studying about electrostatics, electromagnetics, then we'll be studying about Maxwell's equation and how these current and voltages are required to produce the EM waves. After the EM waves, how it is propagated through the transmission lines or waveguide. How at the end of the transmission lines we have antenna. Okay, so this is a connected system. This connected system will form a bigger system that is following our instructions and giving me the desired results. Okay, so this is all about the electromagnetics. So I hope you understood what all things I am trying to follow in this playlist. So let's begin with the first thing that I want to discuss in electrostatics, that is charge. Okay, so what is a charge? Charge is the fundamental elementary particle of all of the matter that is surrounding us. So whatever material we are having, if we go in the deep analysis, what is the basic building block of all of the material? It can be electron or proton, and we have the further divisions as well. But let's concentrate our discussion to the most fundamental unit in this playlist, that will be charge. So we are not going beyond the division of the charges. Okay, so we have the fundamental unit, that is charge. Okay, now what is charge? If I have some material, if I divide it, I will get ultimately one part which is the basic building block of all of the matter, that is electron or proton. So if I have electron and proton, so let's suppose if this is my electron and this is my proton, so now both of them contain some mass. So here also we have some mass, and in proton also we have some mass. So because of their mass, they will be exerting some gravitational force on each other. What would be the gravitational force? We know that force is given by G m1 m2 upon r square. So here this is m1 and this is m2. The gravitational force is given by G m1 m2 upon r square. We know what are the masses of electrons and protons. Okay, so we know m1 and m2, we know G and we know r square. According to that, we can calculate the gravitational force. It is of the order 10 raised to power minus 60 Newton. Okay, so it's a very small value, but it is observed that electron and protons exert a very high attractive force on each other. It's of the order, so if I see the force, it is of the order 10 raised to power minus 24 Newton. So this force is very high as compared to the gravitational force. So there will be some additional force in this concept. So additional to the gravitational force, we have some electric force also. So what is the electric force? So electric force is due to the charges present on the electrons and the protons. So like because of mass, we were having the gravitational force. So similarly, electrons and protons contains some charge, due to which we are having the electric force. Okay, so charge is giving rise to the electric force. So this electric force is very high as compared to the gravitational force. So it is a very predominant feature which is giving a lot of new properties to the substance. So we need to study about this new type of force, which is electric force. So why this force is present? Due to the charge. If I rub the dry hair with a comb, so dry hair will start attracting toward the comb. Why? Because some electrons transferred and we'll be having some positive charge and negative charge developed, and the opposite charge attract each other. Or in the another words, I can say we have protons and electrons, group of protons and group of electrons combined. So if I have different type of charges, they will attract each other. So they will start attracting each other. This is the proton and this is the electron, and we'll be having the attractive forces only. So this thing should be clear, that if I have different charges, they will only attract each other if proton is placed. So this is a proton, it is placed against a proton only. So these will starting repelling each other. Again we'll be having the electrostatic force, but it will be repulsive in nature. Okay. So now if I have again electrons and electrons, it will again be repulsive in nature. If I have proton and electron, so here I'll be having attractive forces. So these forces are attractive in nature. So I hope this thing is clear. Now what is the unit of charge? How we can measure the charge? The unit of charge is coulomb. Okay. So the unit of charge is coulomb. Whatever the charge is present on the electron and proton, We'll be measuring it in the coulomb, and we are assigning the charge on the electron to be negative and the charge on the proton to be positive. So why are we assigning them different charges? So it is because if I have the collection of charges, let's suppose here I have 3 electrons and again we have 3 protons. What kind of force they'll be exhibiting? You can say that these are electrons, these are protons, these are opposite in nature, they will attract each other. No, but when they are placed very close, then that time they will neither attract or they will not have the repulsive forces. So the net charge will be 0. They are not attracting, they are not repulsive in nature, so the net force is 0. Why? Because here we have opposite charges. If I am taking here charge to be 3 negative, here the charge has to be 3 positive only. Okay, so that is why 3 negative plus 3 positive will cancel out, and here I'll be having 0 net charge. And because here I have 0 net charge, we have 0 force. Now we have another type of particle as well, which are called neutrons. So neutrons don't have positive or negative charge. So how to measure the charge? Charge can be measured with the help of a conductor in which 1 ampere current is flowing in 1 second. So when 1 ampere current is flowing in 1 second, then we'll be having 1 coulomb of the charge. So what is the charge present on the electron? So 1 electron possesses 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb in the negative sign. So this is the charge on the electron, and if I talk about the charge on the proton, here I'll be having positive 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. These positive and negative are just conventions. I can take my proton as negative and electron as positive. It just depends upon me, and the charges are conserved. So what it does mean? That like if I have to destroy a material, I cannot destroy the net charge. If I destroy a material in the case of beta decay, the 0 net charge will produce electrons and protons. So this is the beta decay, and we are producing electron and proton. Before beta decay, the net charge is 0, and after beta decay also the net charge will be 0. We cannot create the charge. I hope you understood the conservative property of the charge. So now the charge is quantized, which means that if I have n number of protons and m number of electrons, so n minus m into E will represent the charge on the material. So it will represent my charge on the material, or charge is represented by Q. I am representing it with Q, n minus m into E represents Q. I will be calculating total number of protons. I will be subtracting it from the number of electrons, and I will be multiplying it with E, and I will be having the net charge. So let's suppose if I have 3 protons and 1 electron, so here I will be having 2E. So 2E will be the charge. So the charge will always be a number multiplied with the E only. So it's a real number which is multiplied with E, and it's always a integer. So we cannot have any fraction multiplied with E. So charges are always quantized. So I hope you understood the basic things about the charge. If you still have any doubt about the charge, you can ask your doubt with the help of comments. I hope you like this session, and you will be staying with me till the end of this playlist, and you will be getting a lot of new information about the electrostatics and EMFT. Thank you so much.